Roll world, what's going on? It's Elwood, and welcome back to another edition of Rock On Studio Live, bringing you one-on-one with all of your favorite bands, artists, and so much more. If you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, please hook your buddy up and do it, all right? It's easy. It's one click away, and set the reminder for all the other interviews. Check out past ones. Got Ben Bruce of Asking Alexandria coming up next week. We'll have Five Finger Death Punch, Bad Wolves, Corey Marks, and more. And there's a plethora for you to check out already. And yes, I use the word plethora because I love it. But today's guest on the show is somebody that is back in the rock and roll world with a fierce new track. I mean, 2014, biggest rock song ever. Heaven Knows, #1 on the charts. Fucked Up World, out to #1. Follow Me Down, #1. Then comes back again with Take Me Down with another one hit. No female-fronted band had ever had 3 #1 hits since 1984, and that was the Pretenders. How cool is that? Joining me in the Rock On Live studio today, the one and only frontwoman of the Pretty Reckless, I give you Taylor Momsen. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm figuring out the tech side of things today. I feel very accomplished.
I feel like a lot has been going on with all the artists and everything using all the tech. People are learning many different ways to communicate, and this is one of my favorite ones. So thank you for taking the opportunities.
No, thank you for having me, man. This is cool.
So let's talk Death by Rock and Roll. First off, congratulations on the track. Obviously, you made a huge debut on the rock charts right away. Everybody was waiting for you to come back. You were on a little bit of a hiatus. And then we get Death by Rock and Roll. So the beginning of that track has something very personal to you. Would you like to explain that a little bit?
I mean, the entire song is very personal to me, but yeah, the song actually, it starts with our late producer Cato's footsteps. And that's, I don't want to get too heavy here, man, but yeah, it's certainly a way to start a record.
Unbelievable song,
the whole song is homage to him and to our fallen heroes. So
unbelievable track, and we've gone through so much in the rock and roll world with all that. And thank you for releasing that music with us. Let's talk about the cover art for this. When I saw this, unbelievable. How much fun was it doing this photo shoot?
It was great. First of all, I'm just glad that we got it in time. I mean, we did this shoot in New York. We shot it with the guy Danny Hastings, who did the Going to Hell cover, and love him. He's amazing. He's done like Eminem and Wu-Tang and stuff. And we got the photo shoot in literally like 2 days before quarantine started. So
wow,
very, very fortuitous timing. But yeah, I mean, we really wanted to make just a really bold, I mean, we wanted to make something as bold as the song, which that was the first thing. But really make kind of a classic rock and roll album cover for a single, which we've never really done before. And there's a lot of personal references and kind of hidden how you say, like hidden Easter eggs in that visual. Like there's a lot of meaning behind that picture. Lots of details that will probably come out as once the record's out and stuff, people will start to put 2 and 2 together. But that's just one of a series of photographs. So stay tuned. There's going to be more to come.
Wow. So this was a full photo shoot with them. I think that's awesome. What made you choose an artist that deals with more hip hop? Was it something that you liked about his style?
Yeah, I mean, he's just cool. We met him. I don't actually know how we met him, working through different photographers, but when we did the Going to Hell shoot, it was just such a great experience. Like he was just so cool, so an artist, if that makes sense. Like just totally like down with my vision and like just how can I help see this through to what Taylor sees in her head. And that's always the kind of people you want to work with. And he's such a just fun dude to be around. It's a great environment, great work environment.
Well, we can't wait to hear the whole record. Going to be out sometime later this year. First single, Death by Rock and Roll, is out now, impacting rock radio all over. So make sure you call your local rock radio stations and always request. It's the best way to help the bands out. Now, obviously, the big question is, how has everybody been spending time? You have the new record done. Now you're waiting to get it released. You have been doing some unbelievable acoustic stuff with some big names and online. Has that been something that you've really dove into during quarantine, is stripping down these songs and doing acoustic stuff?
Well, it is, because I can't see the band, and so there's no amps and there's no drums, so kind of limited here. But yeah, no, I've done a couple now. Started my first one, that's a whole thing into itself, just trying to figure out how to film myself and record myself. I don't do that. I don't do this shit. Like, so I'm struggling with the tech side of things. But no, I did Peace, Love, and Understanding for Crew Nation to help raise funds for all the crews and our crew who obviously are out of work right now. And then for Chris Cornell's, Matt called me up, Matt Cameron from Soundgarden, and he was like, "Do you want to do some sort of tribute for Chris?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And so we did Halfway There via quarantine videos.
Yes, it's so emotional. Was it really? It's really tough to get through. It's got to be, right?
It's emotional making it. There's no way around it. I've had to learn to just accept that aspect of life now. You know, after we've had a few hard years, and it's just something you've learned to just live with.
Is that something that comes out a lot in the new record? Were a lot of these songs written in times where you needed that musical therapy for help you with the release?
It's certainly, it's all over this record. I mean, after not to get too heavy into it, but I mean, after Chris passed, I didn't really know how to handle that. I left tour, kind of stopped everything, removed myself from the public eye. Like I needed some time to process and cope with what had just happened. And then shortly after that, Kato, my best friend in the world and our producer, passed on a motorcycle accident. And that was kind of the nail in the coffin to me. Like I went very down into depression and wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get out of it, if I ever was going to get out of it. Everything seemed very bleak, to say the least. And it was music that really kind of pulled me out of it and saved me again. I mean, I started writing because I didn't know what else to do. So I turned to music, and things just started pouring out. And that's Death by Rock and Roll is the tip of the iceberg of this record. That is not just about that, but it's all paying homage. It's all tribute, but it was my kind of coping mechanism to get through that really hard time. And you'll hear it in the songs. There's no way not to.
It's got to be so painful talking about everything and everyone waiting. Like, we want to hear it. We want to hear it so bad. So it's got to be.
It's super painful. I want everyone to hear it so bad. It's just like I'm just gonna leak it. I mean, I'm not. So don't get too excited. But Death by Rock and Roll, the song really is the tip of the iceberg. Like, there's gonna be lots more songs to come and stuff before the full album. So stay tuned.
Oh man, I know fans are dying and can't wait. So we know there's going to be secrets and more photos with the album. We know the album is what saved you, but you know what is the best out of that? If it was something there that saved you, think about the fans and all the stuff that they're going through and how many more lives you're going to be able to save by putting this record out. As much as it helped you, it's going to help me. It's going to help every other fan, because everyone has those dark times, and we all can agree music is always the universal language to help all of us out during those times. So thank you for opening up, and thank you for talking about the record.
No, of course. Thank you. I mean, it really is though. I mean, music is, it's such a salvation. It's such a freedom that, like, it's crazy to think that something that, you know, I wrote for me to help me get through something could possibly affect people in some deep way. And that's always, I mean, that's happened with every record. I feel like this record's a little bit more intense on that scale of things, but it's wild to think that is a possibility. Like, it's crazy, you know. Like, I listen to the records. I'm Soundgarden. I listen to the records that I you know have helped me get through so much, and to think that something I made could help other people that's crazy.
Awesome.
Mind blowing.
So how bad do you miss the road? Do you miss the road, or do you like having to be able to chill for a little bit?
I miss the road, man. I mean, I joke, but I mean, I had essentially been in my own self quarantine for the past like 3 years, dealing with all the stuff I've been dealing with. And so when we finished this album, I mean, we were in rehearsal. I mean, we had some of the best touring lined up like ever. I mean, it was all the festivals. It was the Foo Fighters. It was Pearl Jam. It was Guns N' Roses. It was looking pretty awesome. And then boom. So it's, you know, I can't complain too much because I'm safe and healthy, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. But I'm certainly looking forward to getting back out on the road when this clears up. And I'll tell you one thing, I'll never complain about touring again.
Yeah, until you're a couple weeks in going, God, my own bed feels weird now.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, touring, like, it's awesome. It's hard to call it a job because, you know, getting to play shows every night it's incredible. But it gets exhausting, you know, the grind of it. Like, fall into a funk, and I'm like, I'm never again. Like I'll do anything right now to be able to get in a room with the guys and crank amps and have Jamie fucking pound his drums and like, dying to play, putting out Death by Rock and Roll and not being able to play it live. It's a bit brutal. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we're all dying to get out to a concert because we all miss that pounding bass and scream and feeling and concert family and the guardrail, $14 beers. I can't wait to pay for a $15 beer. I can't wait for it.
I know. I keep saying that like I'm trying to think positively about everything because that's just, it's a good way to think. And I'm trying to go, okay, you know what? Live shows right now, it's like tantric. So we can't go to live shows, can't do it yet. So you just have to wait and wait and wait. And so when they come back, it's just going to explode.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be people, everyone is going to be out. I think it's going to be, once this is over, the best time for concerts. I think
I agree because people are dying for it. You withhold something from someone, you just want it that much more.
Mm-hmm. The grass is always greener, right?
Exactly.
Death by Rock and Roll out now. New music from the Pretty Reckless. That new album will be out a little bit later this year. We don't have an exact release date, correct?
Not for the full album, no. Just because everything's so up in the air right now. It's, a very unprecedented times, but there is going to be new music coming and we're trying to figure out the visual aspects of things now. So just stay tuned. I'm going to keep saying it. Death by Rock and Roll is really just the tip of the iceberg. It's the first song on the record. It's just the taste.
And I love what you're doing when talking about visuals a lot and with pictures, because I feel like a lot of bands are doing that more. We're getting back to music videos. We're getting back to illustrations to go along with songs. We're getting back to vinyl. Was this something that you had planned ahead? When I want to do this record, I want it to be a full media production?
Well, yeah, because it's the full, I don't necessarily have all the visual concepts locked down in my brain while making the record. That tends to come afterwards, after you've had some time to sit with it, and then you start to visualize what it should be. But it certainly is, I find it equally as important in the sense that that's the full circle. The songs are the album, and that's what will live forever, but the image that goes along with it and is the visual extension of the songs. And so I love that vinyl's coming back and making a resurgence and stuff, because it feels like a present when you get it. It's not just like, I love streaming and radio. Like I love being able to just hit play on something. I think that's great. It's fun and it's easy. But but it's not the same as getting a physical something, holding it in your hands, looking at all the credits and who played on what and who engineered this and all the pictures that go along with it. Like that was my favorite thing as a kid was getting to go through all that and really delve into the psyche of the artist, or at least try to.
It's awesome. All right. Oh, before you go, I just want to show you my favorite promo tee that I think I've ever received. And I've worn it so many times. It has the little armpit, the white stuff from the deodorant. It happens. I'm a guy, black t-shirt.
No,
do you remember this? I banged the Pretty Reckless and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Yes, I do. I thought that was we try to be funny. We try to keep it light.
Oh, I love it. One of my favorite tees. Literally, it's got the pit stains, the deodorant pit stains. But that's what happens. Nice. You're around band guys enough. That's what you know what happens.
Dude, I get the same thing. We're all human.
Death by Rock and Roll out now and impacting rock radio. Make sure you call your local stations, message them, email them. Death by Rock and Roll is out as soon as we get info about the full-length record. We will have that information to get out to you. Taylor, thank you so much for the music. Death by Rock and Roll, literally rock and roll saving lives all at the same time, and we can never forget that. And I can't thank you enough for opening up and talking about the emotions in the record. I really appreciate that.
Oh no, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. Like, it's been crazy releasing stuff in quarantine because you don't know how to feel about it, and the response and the reaction to the song has been so overwhelmingly positive that it's so overwhelming. I don't know how to feel about it. So thank you so much. Really, it means the world.
Well, it's good. A lot of bands are delaying their records, so it was really nice to actually get that song out and give us some breath of fresh air of rock and roll.
That's what I was like, rock and roll. I mean, we thought about pushing it, and I went, you know what, rock and roll saved me. Like, this is a hard time in life right now for everyone. Put it out. I can't sit on this anymore. Let the music do its thing. People need some energy and something to invigorate them in the morning. Rock and roll.
Yes. Well, we love you, and we can't thank you enough for joining us in the Rock On Studio. It means the world as always.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Make sure you, once again, request it. Death by Rock and Roll. We'll be waiting patiently for the new record and also the new imagery to go along with it. Until then, make sure you subscribe to Rock On Studio Live on YouTube. And that's another edition. We'll talk to you soon. Taylor Momsen of the Pretty Reckless, everybody.
Thanks. Rock and roll, guys. Talk to you.